to me.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Starco here guys. Today what we're going to do, well, as the title says, we're going to take Satana out for a spin and face Wall Boss Ultimate, a Black Dwarf with her. Before we actually go to the gameplay guys, like I do most of the time, we're going to look at my Satana build, and then we are going to go see the gameplay after. So the team we are going to use here guys is Satana Elite to have this 70% increased fire damage with tier 2 Coulson and tier 2 Valkyrie for their tier 2 passive. Here you can see tier 2 passive for Valkyrie is applied to all allies, decrease damage received from super violent type characters by 15%, and increase damage dealt to super violent type characters by 45%. Then we have Coulson tier 2 passive that is applied to hero allies, decrease damage received from super violent type characters by 15%, and increase damage dealt to super violent type characters by 45%, and also you get increased guaranteed critical rate by 20%. Sorry about that guys, I had to cough a little bit. So if we take a quick look at my Satana, first guys, my uniform is only upgraded to advanced. So basically we're going to see a Satana that is not fully optimized here to see what is our real potential here for, you know, for average player, not top dogs guys here. So let's take a quick look at my stat sheet guys. Max skill cooldown, we're going to call it max ignore defense 2. It's really close. Fire damage close to 104%. Critical damage is 159%. Critical rate 48%. Attack speed 120%. And recovery rate 121%. Recovery rate is actually pretty important with Satana, because of her tier 1 passive in her second skill. Also guys, as you can see here, my Satana is pretty much built for Alliance Conquest. You can see I got 2 recovery rate euro and 1 HP euro per gear with 2 energy attack euro per gear. She is really built for Alliance Conquest. But I still wanted to take her for a spin against Wall Boss Ultimate to see what she can actually do with a Alliance Conquest build against a Wall Boss Ultimate. Here my custom gear guys, we're going to be running with fire damage 30%, critical rate 24%, then invincible pros for 3 seconds. And ESO set we have is overdrive. We are in set abundance stage 6, so basically a full 6 stars ESOs in all slots. So give me a sec guys. Sorry, I'm having a coughing issue tonight. So we get all attack, all defense, critical rate, critical damage for 8.5%, ignore defense at 8.1%, and 20% increase of all attack with the 60-second cooldown here. So she's not fully Alliance Conquest build. She's like a mix between, you know, offensive and Alliance Conquest, so she can actually be useful in more than one game mode. The next thing that is actually the important thing we gotta look at guys is her skills. First we got her tier 2 passive. Activation rate 25% chance when attacking, applied to enemies. Decrease all debuff effect used by the character by 80% and duration by 50%. That is a key against Black Dwarf, because Black Dwarf is going to apply a massive dot on you, and when that tier 2 passive pros, well, you're going to take a lot less bleed damage, and it's going to last a lot shorter. So it's a huge advantage to have this tier 2 passive against Black Dwarf. Then after that you have decrease all buff effect by 80% and duration by 50%. After that, you have apply to self, 100% chance for immunity to all damage for 10 seconds. So that's actually a very strong tier 2 passive, guys. That actually makes Satana a very good tier 2. And after that, we got the tier 1 passive here, Devil Daughter, activation rate 15% chance when attacking, applied to self, 25% recovery of max HP. So this tier 1 passive is the main reason why I have recovery rate and HP on my girl, because that is her for a lot when it happens. Then after that, we have the leadership. We already look at it, increase fire damage by 70%. So those are for the passive skills. Next we have the fifth skills. Fifth skills is applied to enemy bind. Totally useless in Wall Boss Ultimate because the boss is actually immune to crowd control, but you have applied to self, guards against it, 8 hits. Take note here, guys, guard against it do not prevent the bleed damage from Black Dwarf. Then after that, some fire damage, some additional fire damage, blah 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 blah. Max skill cooldown, you got a cooldown time of 6.5 seconds. Then after that, we got the fourth skill here, Raining Flame. Basically, during that skill, Satana is going to be in semi-iframe mode. Be aware, you can still get it during that skill when you're actually visible on the screen. So don't go in there and say, hey, I bought my fourth skill, I'm going to be invincible because it's iframe. No, it is not. It's, like I said, a semi-iframe can be really dangerous if you use it at the wrong time. So those are the two first skills that are important. Then the next skill that is very important is the second skill, Demonic Temptation. Apply to self, 5% recovery rate, recovery of max HP. Then some fire damage, some additional damage, 4-second cooldown. But what is really important about this skill is that this skill is a lifesaver, not just for the recovery of max HP, the healing, whatever you want to call it, that you get from it, but also because it is a full iframe ability. So you know, when you see the big blue circle appearing, using that second skill is actually going to make you dodge all the big damage that's coming. So every time you have something you need to dodge, big damage, big AoE damage, whatever, this is the skill to use. It is the most important skill against Black Dwarf because it really helps you avoid the spinning movement, the big AoE blast and all that kind of stuff. After that, you have the third skill. Third skill doesn't do much since you cannot apply debuffs to the wall bosses. Well, you can forget about what's important on that skill, but you still get some good offensive attack from that skill. So if you have time, you can actually use that skill. And you have the first skill. First skill is just a basic damage. Again, just a feeler, and most of the time you're not going to be using it. Basically, my rotation I'm going to be doing in the gameplay that's about to start, guys. I'm going to be using 4, 5, and 2 mainly. That's going to be like 95% of the skills I'm using. I'm going to try to be, well, I try to use the second skills every time that's something was happening that I needed to avoid the damage from, but you know, it's never optimal. You have 4-second cooldown with max skill cooldown, and sometimes it's still on cooldown when you need it, so it kind of sucks sometimes. But we got it done. It was pretty simple, pretty easy. You just have to hope for that tier 1 passive to happen when you actually need it, and for the rest is a pretty standard clear. So guys, next we're going to move to the gameplay. Gameplay is just the gameplay, guys. No commentary during the gameplay. I recorded it earlier. So guys, don't forget to sub, like. If you have anything you want to comment, there's a comment section in below the video. And guys, if you have any requests about video, what kind of videos you want me to make, please let me know in the comment section too. So on that, guys, enjoy the gameplay that's coming in a sec, and have a good day, guys.